In today's video, I'm going to be sharing how to make this adorable 3D mini flower square. This is quick and easy and just really fun to make, perfect if you're in the mood like me for something light and spring-like. And another thing that I like about this one, with just a few simple color changes, you can completely change the look, which makes it even harder to stop at just one. For this week's sample, I'm switching up the yarn a little bit. I'm using the Loops and Threads Brushed Rainbow with a 5mm hook. For the first two colors, I'm going to stick with the same color, but it would be really cute with a yellow center. If I had yellow yarn, I would definitely try that for the center next time. To begin, make a magic ring or chain 4 with a slip stitch to form a ring. I'm going to do a magic ring. And make 12 single crochets. Tighten your center. If you're changing colors, add a slip stitch into the first stitch that you made and fasten off using your favorite method. And then fasten back on with a single crochet in any stitch. If you're using the same color like I am, instead of doing a slip stitch, we're going to do a single crochet into the very first single from the previous round. So just here, add your single crochet. This is the beginning of our petal sequence. We're starting with a single crochet. Next, chain 2. And in the same stitch, add a double crochet. In the next stitch, add 3 double crochets. And in the next stitch, add a double crochet, chain 2, and finally add a slip stitch into the same stitch. And when you do it nice and loose. We're going to be working into it in the next round. You don't want this to be too tight. If it is, you're going to be cursing me, and we don't want that. For your petal, you should see 7 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've done 1 petal, we're doing 3 more. To begin the next one, work a single crochet in the next stitch, chain 2, and in the same stitch, add a double crochet. In the next stitch, add 3 doubles. And in the next, add a double crochet, chain 2, slip stitch. Remember, nice and loose. Repeat this 2 more times and I'll see you at the end. For your final slip stitch, put it in the same place like you normally would, in that very last stitch of the sequence. And now you can slip stitch again into the next stitch if you like. If you are working with the same color to continue on, I would recommend that you do a slip stitch into the back loop only of the single from the beginning of the round. That way you'll be in a good position for round 3. But if you are changing colors, I did a slip stitch into the final stitch as normal. And now I'm going to join to the first single crochet with my yarn needle. That way it won't be so bulky. And weave in my ends. Even if you were really careful with your slip stitches, they may still be a little tight. So I would recommend that you keep a yarn needle nearby. That will really help you to kind of loosen up those stitches. To make the 3D effect, we're essentially working into the back of our flower. Here between your petals, you have a slip stitch and a single crochet. You're going to be working into the back loop only of your slip stitch. The reason I did one side slip stitch and the other side single crochet is because for some reason it really does help with that 3D effect. It helps to tuck those stitches from the next round towards the back of the petal. So to start, we're going to work into the back loop only of a slip stitch, and we're going to start with a chain 4 to serve as a treble crochet. Now I am going to just do a slip stitch into the back loop with a chain 4, but you can certainly do a stacked single, building it up to a treble crochet. This is the middle of our first corner, and I'll complete it on the other side. Next, add a double crochet into the same stitch and chain 1. Now we're going to do a single crochet in the back middle of our petal, and that'll be in your 4th stitch. I find it easiest to count the bars. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's your middle stitch. There's the top of your stitch. And if you come to the back, you'll see a horizontal bar. That's what you're working into. Add a single crochet. Chain 1. Skipping over the next 3 stitches, we come back to our slip stitch, working into the back loop only of your slip stitch. Work a double crochet, treble into the same stitch, and double again in the same stitch. This is your corner. Chain 1. And now in the back of the middle of your petal, you're working a single crochet. So skip 3 stitches, find your 4th, 1, 2, 3, 4. Find your horizontal bar, single crochet, chain 1, and work a corner in the back loop only of your next slip stitch. You're just going to continue this all the way around, and I'll see you at the other side. When you come back around after your last chain 1, you'll see in the first corner you have a chain 4 with a double crochet, or essentially a treble crochet and a double. We just need to complete it with a double crochet. So working into the same stitch, add a double. Add a slip stitch into the top of your chain 4, or you can do an invisible join, whichever you prefer. Fasten off if you're changing colors, or stay where you are if you're using the same one. After this round, you should have 3 stitches in each corner with a chain, single crochet chain on each side. For our final round, we're working with single crochets, but for our corner, we're going to add a half double crochet, and that's where we're going to begin. So fasten on into the middle of any corner with a half double crochet, and you can use whichever method you like. I'm just going to do a regular fastening on with a chain 2. Keep it simple. This is going to serve as my half double crochet, and in the same stitch add a single crochet, and then I'll complete this corner on the other side. And now just a single crochet in each stitch across. So a single in the next stitch, a single in the chain 1 space, a single in the next stitch, single in the next chain 1 space, and a single in the next stitch. We're back to the middle of our corner. That's a single, half double single, all in the same stitch. Single, half double, single. And we're just going to continue this all the way around. Single in the next stitch, single in the chain 1 space, single in the next stitch, single in the chain 1 space, and single in the next stitch. And we're back to a corner. Continue around and I'll see you on the other side. Back to our first corner, we already have a half double and a single in there. We just need to complete it with 1 more single crochet. To complete the round, add a slip stitch into the top of the very first stitch of the round, or you can do an invisible join, whichever you prefer. I'm doing an invisible join, skipping over the chain 2 that I did for the half double, going into both loops at the top of that single, working in the back loop only of the last stitch. That's an invisible join. I really like doing it as the very last stitch because if I need to work into that stitch later, it makes it a lot easier to see. And then weave in your ends using your favorite method. For this last round, you want to see 7 stitches on either side of your half double crochets. So here's your half double, and here's another half double. You'll have 7 stitches on each side, plus a half double in each corner. And that's your mini 3D flower completed. Isn't it cute? I just love these. If you want to make your square a little bit bigger, you can follow the same concept and play around with stitches. Just make sure that you have an odd number of stitches in your corners. That way you'll have an equal amount of stitches on each side. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, a like is always appreciated. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.